welcome back to Double A Sports. I'm your host, Aiden Hammond,
And I'm Aditya.
and it's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been like a month and a half or something since we've got
Yeah,
on the call here. A lot of basketball has happened. Um,
a lot of basketball has happened. Jason Tatum has returned.
mm-hmm.
I think that's probably the biggest thing that happened in
Yeah,
between our last episode and recording today.
yeah.
Uh,
Some injury stuff like Giannis is out, like sidelined for the last bit of the season, and Embiid had surgery and stuff. But the nice thing about like if there's ever a time for us to not be able to record stuff, it was
it's the last
March and
third of
April.
the NBA season,
Yeah,
or the last quarter of the NBA season.
yeah. So hopefully we can do a little bit more consistent stuff over the playoffs. But our schedules have not aligned recently. I've
Yeah,
been on work trips like damn near every week for the last 2 months, and it sucks.
Yeah, I work a lot of mornings, so I can't do a lot of like later recordings.
Yeah. Anyway, we're
So
here
yeah,
now.
it's just yeah.
Um, we're here now. The playoffs are starting. We're recording this on. I mean, technically Monday. It's like midnight
Yeah.
on the Monday morning. So the first game of each first round playoff matchup has happened. We we have a lot of content to go over, not a whole lot of time, so we're gonna split this up into like multiple parts, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
we're gonna do our like playoff preview and round one discussions in the future, like probably a week from now or something, a little bit less than a week from now. But for this episode, I wanted to really go over our like how the regular season ended and our predictions at the beginning of this season. Uh, when the season first started and when we like got back into doing this pod, we did our full standings predictions, 1 seed through 15 seed in both conferences, and I want to go over that and see where we completely just struck out, swing and a miss, got it wrong, and where we were prophets of the future and should
Mhm.
work for ESPN. And then also kind of wanted to go over like the awards. The NBA put out like the finalists for all of the awards, like the top three in consideration. So I wanted to go over that and like going into the season, maybe what we thought would happen and like some of the surprises, I guess, for those awards as well. So I'd say first let's go over our standings predictions, and let's do. Do you want to start East or West?
East for me.
All right.
I don't know
Yeah,
if you have a
let's
preference.
now let's do East. Starting with the Eastern Conference, the 15 seed this year was the Washington Wizards. They finished the season 17 and 65, and it was just it was bad. They made some trades. They brought in Trey Young and Anthony Davis, both of whom didn't suit up for them this season. I don't think. Or
Yeah.
no, Trey Young played like a few games at the end of the year, but uh, the big roster changes that are maybe setting them up for next season a little bit better, but this season not good. Um, where'd you have them in your preseason standings?
I had him at 11. I had Brooklyn at 15. Brooklyn was slightly better than I thought they would be.
Well, they were 20
Um,
and 62, so
yeah, yeah, yeah. They were pretty bad too. But they were slightly better than the 15 seed in the Eastern Conference.
yeah,
Uh, so I think that I was a little bit higher on the young core in Washington than maybe the results on the floor allowed for. I
yeah,
also was not expecting CJ McCollum to be traded mid-season for a guy that was not going to play basketball until April.
right.
Uh, so that was kind of a tough pill to swallow, I think, for Washington and of course for this preseason ranking because I had them a little bit higher, but I think on that episode we were talking about how after Miami, it's kind of a pretty steep drop off with the Washington, Toronto, Charlotte, Chicago, Brooklyn crew, and
Yeah,
obviously we were a little bit off, or I was a little bit off about who was going to be a part of that crew, but
I
kind of
actually
was the bottom five of the East or the bottom four of the East, and then everybody else competing for the playoffs.
similarly to you, I expected a bigger jump from this young core. Again, I think the AD and Trey Young trades muddied the waters a little bit, but going into the season, I had them as the 10 seed. I had them as a play-in team, and I remember being really confident and being like, I would put them higher, but I want to be reasonable. And I was still 5 seeds too high, um, with the 10. They just didn't really take the jump I was expecting, I guess, which is fair. I mean, they're super young and a lot of roster turnover, but yeah, disappointing season from the Wizards. I'm net going into the next season. I am also still going to have them high, probably, but I refuse to give up on them. At the 14 seed, we had the Indiana Pacers at 19 and 63, and I know we were both pretty off about this one.
Yeah. I'll wait until we get into the like 8-9 seed to really like talk about how wrong this was.
Yeah,
Uh,
I had them
but
at 9.
yeah, I had them at 8.
Yeah,
Uh,
so I mean, good
my
for us.
real for yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, no, you go ahead.
Oh,
You
I
go
was just
ahead.
gonna say I think both of us are much happier with this result than what we had originally
Agreed.
intended. But I think it's a little also like yes, Tyrese was out the entire season, and we lost Miles Turner in the offseason, and both of those things are why we had them at 9. But also like I think we were also expecting like most of everybody else to play this season, whereas like the Pacers actually
Yeah, I
just
was
had like
not
everybody
expecting it
out
to be
all the
a
time.
fucking hospice the
Yeah,
entire year.
yeah, that was rough. But yeah, I also I want to talk about them a little bit more once we get to like the play-in region. So we'll come back to we'll come back to that. At 13, the Nets finished 20 and 62. I had them at 15. You had them at 15, and like I think realistically, if the Pacers and Wizards weren't so obviously tanking, they would have been 15 anyway. So I I have nothing else to add to this one unless you do.
No, they're pretty awful.
Yeah.
I think really they just drafted a they had 5 first round draft picks last year. They drafted I think it was 5 first round draft picks, but they had like 8 and then like a bunch of picks after 8, and then like I think 3 of them were after 20 or something like that. So it wasn't exactly an awesome draft class. It was a draft class where it's like, all right, we're taking a bunch of swings. Maybe 2 of these guys are franchise guys who we have on the rosters in 4 years.
Yeah.
Um, and it just clearly was like, all right, the first year of that experiment, absolutely none of these guys we have hit on in the first year. They
So
could,
far.
there could be a couple of them that are good, but there's no like, rookie of the year caliber guy in the discussion here for
Yeah.
Brooklyn right now. It's a lot of guys where it's like, all right, we're betting on their development curve in years 2 and 3, and but there's nobody where it's like, oh, he's way ahead of the curve right now. He's a lot higher than we expected to be right
Right.
off the bat, and
Yeah.
that's a little bit, I think, where they kind of lost it this year. They also lost their best player in the offseason. Like Cam Johnson going to Denver was a pretty huge loss. They didn't really replace him very
Yeah.
well. Like they got Michael Porter, but I think it was exchanging a player that can play pretty well within structure if you have a good coach and good guards to a guy that's just, gonna play basketball for himself and Michael Porter. And
Yeah.
I think they got 20 wins out of it because they built their team that way, and hopefully they'll be rewarded in the lottery for it because they were terrible this year.
Yeah. I I agree kind of with everything you just said. Well, I hope they don't get rewarded because I want the Pacers to have
Well,
the
yeah, I
highest
mean,
pick.
if it's at the
But
expense of the Pacers, I hope they don't. But
yeah.
like, I mean, they've been in purgatory for so long. Like, I hope they at least get better than the
Well,
fucking eighth
I don't
pick.
know. They yes, but they also did like sell everything for like 2 years of Kyrie, Katie, and James Harden. So I don't feel too
True.
bad for them.
Yeah, they've been in self-imposed purgatory for the last,
15 years.
12 years.
Yeah, since that ill-fated Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce trade.
Yeah. Jesus
Um,
Christ.
Coming in at the 12th seed at 31 and 51 was the Chicago Bulls. I had them at 12, or no, I had them at 13. Sorry. Um, but I think I mean they're one of those teams like they if they were like trying, they definitely could have made the play in. But I think going into this trade deadline, I mean they traded Vooch, they traded Kobe White, like they really embraced the lottery this year, which
They
is
traded
new for
for
them.
Jaden Ivey.
Yeah, they traded for Jaden Ivey, who lasted like I don't know a few weeks, and then now he's gone. Uh, but
Yeah,
like
that got their
Josh
GM
Giddey,
fired.
yeah, yeah. Jaden Ivey took the GM down with him. But like Josh Giddey had a very promising season. Matas took a step up. They have some bright spots on this team. You know, Patrick Williams is still there, which sucks for them. That's definitely a downside. But they got like Anthony
Yeah.
Simons at the trade deadline. He could be okay, maybe. I don't know. This team isn't great, but I think if they like were really committed to making the play, and they definitely could have this year.
Yeah, they've got some pieces, I think, but they kind of seem like a team that's destined to be like on the edge of the play-in at best, unless they get their hands on a player in the lottery this year that's game changing. Like if they're like in if they get Caleb Wilson or something, I think we're cooking with gas.
Yeah,
But unless they're in the top 4 or 5, I'm not really super sold on the Bulls going forward.
I agree. Coming in at 11 at 32 and 50 was the Milwaukee Bucks. Now their season was a weird one, right? I think going into the season, like I had them at 6, but that
I
was a
also had them at
very
6.
yeah, yeah. So like, but that was also like an if Giannis plays at an MVP level
Yeah.
and everything clicks, they could make the playoffs. But then obviously it was such a wild card with Doc Rivers as the head coach and like Ryan Rollins exploded onto the scene, so that was really good. But also then Giannis didn't
Yeah.
play a lot, and it was just like I don't know. This one was a very hard one to predict, but yeah,
Yeah, I think Milwaukee this year just kind of was the victim of finally not like Giannis getting older, their roster building finally kind of catching up to them
yeah,
because Giannis is not there to save the day. Like there were times in the past where Giannis could miss 10, 12 games at a time, and because they had Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton there along with, a decent supporting cast, they could kind of get some shit done and
yeah.
go like 500. And now they don't really have that. It's like Miles Turner and the gang. And
Which if he's the ringleader, that your team is rough.
yeah, like I'm not super. I don't know why I think I more just didn't want to seem like a hater, I guess. Like I don't know why I had them so high up because in retrospect it seems like this result was kind of obvious. I guess I didn't really like. How many games did Giannis miss? I guess I just assumed he was gonna play 70 games, and he didn't.
Yeah, I can pull that up real quick. But also, like, Miles Turner was coming off like a damn near career year with the Pacers. Like, I think
That's
I
true.
think we
Yeah.
didn't. So Giannis played 36 games this year. Um,
Okay,
so
that's actually less than I thought.
yeah, but then yeah, like so Giannis didn't play a whole lot, and like in the games he did play, he played 29 minutes a game, so it wasn't
Yeah.
even anything crazy. Um, and like Miles Turner coming off that year with the Pacers, I think Tyrese, like everyone knows Tyrese is one of the best playmakers in the game, and point guards especially have a habit of making their centers look better than they actually are. But like the disparity between last year Miles Turner and this year Miles Turner is night and day. Like
Yeah.
the having a really good point guard changes everything.
Yeah, he needs a good playmaker. End
Yeah.
discussion.
Um, so I think that was part of it too. Where like, oh, like Miles Turner next to Giannis, that's going to be a really good pairing. But Miles Turner just didn't have the setup that he needed to actually make that happen. And
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, Bucks disappointing season. But I also think going into next year will probably be a lot more accurate because they will be at the bottom. 30, like they got 32 wins out of Giannis's 36 games played.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Coming in at 10 at 43 and 39 was the Miami Heat. Play-in champions. They're always there.
I actually had them at exactly 10.
Yeah, they always find their way in the play-in. I mean, I had them at 11 because I had the Wizards jump, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Bam scored 83.
God,
Hang
that's
the
so
banner.
funny.
And
It's Wilt, Bam, and Kobe.
yeah.
That's you know.
Yeah, dude. Uh but yeah, I'm almost so bored with Miami that I don't even want to talk about them. Like
Yeah, we'll move on.
we both predicted it perfectly.
Yeah.
Like they were edge of the play-in all year.
Mm-hmm. And
They
they'll be
lost the
there again
play-in.
next year. That's the beautiful
They're the
thing
10
about
seed.
Miami is they'll be there again next year.
They're gonna get like the 12th overall pick and draft a 24-year-old, and he's gonna be like
Mm-hmm.
awesome for October and November next year, and Juice's rookie of the year odds, and then by January he'll be scoring 7 points a game and have been benched because his body fat's not below 5%.
Yeah.
Go Heat.
At the 9 seed at 44 and 38 is the Charlotte Hornets, a much more exciting team to talk about right now. I had
Yes.
them at 14, so way off.
I had them at 13.
Yeah, which I mean, before, if we looked at the standings on like December 15th, we'd both have been pretty damn close. But then something
Yeah.
happened in Charlotte, and they just went on a heater. And like
No,
it's
they were
incredible.
fun this year, dude.
Yeah, they were such a good team to watch. I that was like one of because like I kind of just watch games when I have time, like with these work trips and everything. If I'm working like a night shift and I can find some time to watch a game, I'll do it. Whatever. I was like going out of my way to be like when are the Hornets games? Like especially
Yeah.
once we got into like February, March, I was like, find me a Hornets game. I want to watch it. Like this team was super fun.
Yeah, they turned it on at the end of the year. Con Knipple had like
He broke the
the
record.
best 3-point rookie shooting season ever, I think.
Yeah.
He nearly set the franchise record. I think LaMelo just barely beat him this year.
No, LaMelo was short by 1-3. Actually, Con beat him.
Oh, Con beat him?
Yeah, by 1-3.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, fuck. They got so murdered in that last game that I didn't even really look at the
Yeah.
at Khan's stats. Oh, good for him.
Mm-hmm.
So he had, set the franchise record. Had the best rookie 3-point shooting season ever. Uh, we'll get into the awards. I don't think he's gonna win Rookie of the Year, but they
Still,
got
I mean, an
him.
incredible year.
Miller played pretty well when he played. Like,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, Miles Bridges was a cornerstone this year.
Yeah. LaMelo played
Uh,
well. I mean, he
LaMelo, I
played a
think,
full
had his
season.
best season as a pro
Yeah.
by a quarter mile. Like,
Yep.
he finally put it together without any major injuries.
Yeah. And like
Um,
I think this also. Oh shit! I
they're
just hit my
fun, dude.
mic. This finish to the season, like, it was a bummer that they lost that second playing game because I really wanted to watch Hornets Pistons first round. That would have been hilarious. Um,
Oh
but
my god.
also, like, this is like, you can really build on this going into next year. I don't know
Yeah,
what the ceiling of this team is with the Eastern Conference the way it is right now, but like, this is like, if they can keep playing, like, they're not going to keep playing like this all of next year and just be this powerhouse. But if they can even like take some stuff away from this, like, they're looking at, like, you won't even have to worry about the play in next year. Like, if they can put it
they're
together
a
and
team
keep
that's
it like
going
that.
to benefit from the deep draft this
Yes,
year, I
absolutely.
think.
So,
Currently, Tankathon has them taking Patrick Nagangba
mhm.
from Duke at 14. He's a center, and I think that's a pretty solid move for them. They need another center.
Yeah. So yeah,
And yeah,
good for the Hornets. They really needed it. Um, Coming in at 8, we have the Orlando Magic at 45-37, and oh boy, um, I had the Magic ashamedly as a 2 seed going
I had
into
him
this
4.
season. I had Jamal Mosley was my Coach of the Year pick.
Yeah.
I was really all in on this team, and wow, wee wow. That This team was a shit show. It just seemed like they could never get it all together. Like, I think
Yeah.
this, like,
Today, the day we're
yeah,
recording.
today is the day they had their best game of the season, is against the Pistons in Game 1. Where, because, like, I swear, like, we talked about this multiple times throughout the season on this pod, but like, they can never have all three of their, like, quote unquote big three playing well at the same time. Like,
Yes.
Desmond Bain did not play like somebody worth 4 first round picks. If Paolo and Desmond Bain both somehow had a good game, Franz would have like 4 points. Paolo had far too many, like, disappointing, like, they're calling him
Paulo did
PB
not
No
look like a guy
J.
you build around here.
Yeah, not at all. They're calling, the streets are calling him PB No J. Like, you can't do that, man. You're a
he's a
first
guy
overall
that
pick.
he's a guy that I am looking forward to Kevin Pritchard getting on his second contract on like the Pascal Siakam type thing where we trade like 3 first round picks for him and then he's just like an awesome third option with Tyrese
Yeah,
Halliburton and AJ DeBanza.
yeah. He So it's hard because this is also one of the situations where, like, big roster changes, you're not expecting things to click right away. So, like, maybe next year is the year they figure it out. But I'm also like, this team is gross. They gotta shit. Something's gotta
This
shake.
team is gross.
Something's gotta shake. Like, they can't go into next year like this. Um, yeah, that's my rant on the Magic.
Agreed.
Um, Coming in at 7 is the 76ers, also at 45-37.
This is right where I had Philly at.
I had them, yeah, at 7. So, wonderful.
Um, VJ Edgecombe, fun player.
Yeah,
Was
great rookie year.
really looked like he was gonna be the rookie of the year through like December.
Mm-hmm. And even, I mean,
Uh,
he's not going to win it, but, like, he's a finalist, right? Like he's coming
The
in
reason
third.
he's not gonna win Rookie of the Year is because another guy played really well, not come started playing like shit.
Correct. Yeah, he had a, for all intents and purposes, great year. Tyrese
Yes.
Maxey also incredible year, uh, putting up 28 points, 7 assists, led the league in minutes per game at 38. He really took that step up to being like the number one guy for this team because Joel Embiid like didn't play at all. So
Yeah.
shout out Tyrese Maxey, but I really don't want to talk about the Sixers. Like they bore me. VJ was great. He's one of my favorite players in the league already. When he's on, he's super fun to watch. Great player. Flashes of young Dwayne Wade. But like the rest of this team, I just don't care about them. I don't know
Yeah,
if
they're very I think I've used up all of the caring about the 76ers I have in me
yeah.
for a while. I'm not sure when that'll recharge.
Yeah. I yeah. Um
Because there were
go
so many years where I was like, oh, maybe this year. Like, I was never rooting for them, but oh man, it seems like the Sixers are really in the mix, and then we'd get to the playoffs and they'd lose embarrassingly,
yeah.
and like the second round or the first round, and I'd be like, all right, this is not
Joel Embiid
worth
would average
any
like
energy anymore.
35 and 18 in the first round and then 18 and
Yeah, against
7 in the
yeah,
second
against
round.
like yeah. Yeah, he'd be like, and then he'd go to the press conferences and be like, I don't know what people want from me.
Yeah, my teammates need to step up. I mean, they're just not
Yeah.
doing this. So.
Yeah, he'd score like a dozen points and then go to the press conference after they lose by 35 to the Raptors and be like, "Oh yeah, man, I think that there's a
Some of
lot
these
of
guys really need to take some
issues
accountability around here. Like
with
they are not doing
accountability on this roster."
Yeah, I remember that was a big one for him, talking about how guys need to start taking accountability.
Yeah, he took all of the worst lessons from Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, and James Harden.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I don't care about them. Coming in at 6, at 46 and 36, is the Atlanta Hawks, who I had at 8.
I had him at 5. But for the wrong reason. I thought this was going to be a resurgent Trae Young season where he took this core that they had, which I did think was very good, and you know, took them to back to the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. And what I got instead was a Jalen Johnson breakout season where he looks like one of the 10 or 15 best players in basketball for most of the year, and takes that same core and
Just does it
goes
better.
to does it better.
Yeah, yeah. I think I had them at 8 mainly because I am a Trae Young fan. I like him a lot, but
And they have a fucking lottery pick. Sorry.
yeah, they do. But I am a Trae Young fan, and I want him to succeed, and like hopefully he finds that success with the Wizards. But I do remember going into this season, I was yeah, they've put this team together around him. Um, it can't really get any better for him, so it's now or never. But I think this last year is kind of when the discourse was really gathering some substance of what is the ceiling of a Trae Young led team, and I think I settled at 8th seed in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
Obviously, this season played out much differently, but yeah.
No, but I think you were generally right when you predicted the Eastern Conference to be stronger than it was.
Yeah. Coming in at 5 is the Toronto Raptors, also at 46 and 36. And wow, I had them at 12.
Yeah, this was one of the big surprises
Oh,
in the East for
Aiden,
me.
I can't hear you.
I was saying this was the big surprise of the Eastern Conference for me, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of two big surprises in the Eastern
Yeah.
Conference for me that we'll get to. Uh, but yeah, they were a lot better than I thought they would be. I think they're pretty well coached. Brandon Ingram, I think, had a pretty standout season.
I agree.
Um, he just really like it kind of they kind of felt like and not like they were only like 6 games off of them, but they kind of felt like a baby version of the Rockets almost, and Brandon Ingram was the Kevin Durant.
Yeah, that's fair. I I like yeah, I don't hate that comp. I if you have like Scotty Barnes as your amen, just slightly different.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely not a 1-to-1 because they don't have a Şengün, but
No,
it's
right.
it's I think it's like they had a kind of score like that leading the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do agree though. They took a step up for sure. I liked Brandon Ingram's performance was really good. Scotty Barnes was like amazing this year to me. I think him
Yeah,
taking that step up and being like I don't know if uh more of a playmaker is the right word, but he was setting up a lot of that offense for them. He was a defensive anchor for them. I think I do agree that they're a very well coached team, but they're also a team that it's like they like with a lot of younger teams in this position, which I guess we'll get to more when we do our playoff discussion video. But like they're one of those teams where like they made it to the playoffs as a 5 seed, but like you're not really expecting anything of them yet. They're still just kind of getting their
right.
legs under them, um, getting that kind of experience under their belt. They have some vets like Brandon Ingram's been to the playoffs before, RJ's been to the playoffs before, but it's a little different um, in this circumstance, I guess.
Yeah, art. Yeah, yeah.
I did. Did you? I saw a clip. So I mean, they got absolutely porked by the Cavs in Game One, and I saw this. I saw this clip near the end of the game where like it pans over to the Raptors bench and like everyone's like sitting back and like kind of defeated and just like looking, watching the game like clearly unhappy. And then you see Scotty Barnes at the end of the bench and he's like leaned in and like smiling and laughing and just like watching the game like a fan and it's so fucking funny, dude. I gotta
Dude,
see if I
there
can
was a
find it.
compilation of Scotty Barnes a couple years ago. Did we send it to each other? Or did I just see that on TikTok?
He might have, I don't remember. But Scotty's awesome. Big fan. Um, Coming in at number 4 is the Cleveland Cavaliers at 52-30.
I had him
I
at 2.
Yeah, I had them at 1 again. I really thought they were gonna continue their mission from last year. But this is also I think this is one where it's very different because like Darius Garland really didn't play much for them, and then he was traded at the deadline for James Harden, right? And like I
Yeah,
I also severely underestimated the impact of like Ty Jerome last year, where
yeah,
like Lonzo Ball just kind of needs to retire, and like not having that backup point guard that could come in
yeah,
and play like starter quality basketball really kind of shot them in the foot a little bit.
yeah. I mean, it's hard to be like they were bad because they weren't. They were, the 4 seed. Um, but they made, I mean, especially like, I get it. It was definitely the right decision for this year. But trading Darius Garland for James Harden just really leaves a bad taste in my mouth for the long term health of the franchise.
1,000%.
I And I just like, yeah, they did pants Toronto yesterday, but they looked pretty good in the first round last year, and then they ran into the Halliburton hammer. So
Hmm.
I just I think that unless they go to the Eastern Conference Finals this year, I am not looking forward to seeing them long term. Like if they go to the Eastern Conference Finals this year, I can be like, all right, I think they can get one more or two more really productive years out of Harden, or two more pretty productive out of years out of Harden, and maybe this is a contending window for them that they wouldn't have otherwise had with a potentially off injured Darius Garland. But I don't know. I just they they feel weird to me right now.
Yeah, I agree. And I think when we did our like trade deadline video, I think we kind of covered that hard. We did cover that hard trade in a lot more depth, and like we both had the same idea of like it today as of the 2025-26 season. That's a good trade, but you're also trading a 26-year-old for a 36-year-old. So like, and also it's James Harden who does not have the best reputation in the playoffs anyway.
Right.
But but that being said, I do think this first round they should win pretty handedly, and like they do have a path to the conference finals because they don't have to play one of the Celtics or Knicks until the conference finals. So like they beat the
Yeah.
Raptors here, then they see the Pistons, who like the Pistons are the best team in the East record wise this year, which we'll get to them in a little bit later. But like that's a beatable playoff team, I'd say. Um,
Yeah, I would agree.
yeah, so we'll see
Especially
about
if
the
the
game.
Pistons come in kind of battered from a like if Orlando can push them to 6 or 7 games,
Yeah, nice.
uh that's that's a series that I might just take Cleveland in going into, and that might be one where it's like it could open at like plus 150 or plus 200, which I think would be pretty insane
Yeah,
for a 4 seed over a 1 seed in the second round.
yeah. Coming in at three was the New York Knicks at 53-29. Great season for the Knicks. I had them at four, so like pretty close. I mean, it's the same team from last year, just with a different head coach, and they really haven't lost a step, I'd say. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, I had them at 3. I will say I'm a little bit more I don't know if I don't know if hopeful is the word I use because I hate the New York Knicks, but I think that I'm a little bit more optimistic about the chances for them to win uh, the championship, or at least go to the finals with Mike Brown, who's gonna diversify the rotation a little bit more and maybe
definitely.
not have them in as many games. They have 6 players or 7 players playing 40 minutes.
Yeah. No, I agree. I do think, and I think we also kind of saw that in the game one against the Hawks, where like they're playing with a different intensity for sure
Yeah.
this year. Coming in at two, the Boston Celtics at 56-26. Wow. Yeah, they didn't lose a step at all. I had them at five, which is surprising to me because it seems pretty high. Um, but yeah,
This was my most embarrassing L of the preseason predictions, by a long shot. I uh, I don't take back everything I said about Joe Mazzulla because I think it's important to learn and grow from your mistakes. But Joe Mazzulla is a
sure.
great coach, and I was
Yeah,
wrong. Um, and they were very good this year. Jalen Brown was, I mean, in the last couple weeks of the season, it's become kind of a, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Nikola Jokic, Victor Wembanyama discussion. But really, through like the beginning of March, it was like, I don't know, Jalen Brown. could get a significant portion of the vote, and like all I've really seen is Wilbon banging the torch for him or carrying the torch for him.
Yeah. He kind of got like that like what was it, like 2017 Paul George, where like
Yes,
he
that's
really just he
exactly
got a
what it
lot
was.
of like MVP momentum like with 2 months left in the season. Um, and I mean, which was well deserved. I mean, he had a phenomenal season. He put the Celtics. I don't want to say he put the Celtics on his back because they do have a lot of really good role players and they are really well coached. But like coming into this season, I think the reason like me and you and so many other people were lower on the Celtics is because it's like, well, Jason Tatum was obviously the number one. Jalen Brown, he's a really good two, but he hasn't shown yet that he can be a one, or like I
Right.
have no confidence that he can be, and he took that step and was like the leader for this team and played near flawless basketball for most of the season and held it down while Tatum was gone. And now that Tatum's back, like they look crazy.
Yeah. It also helps that they have a wizard in their front office.
Yes.
They replaced Danny Ainge, who had the reputation for being a wizard and, was one, but also kind of made a lot of mistakes in his last couple years in the front office in Boston. And now Brad Stevens is there and just like cooking.
Yeah.
Like them getting Vooch for Simons was such a perfect swap mid-season that I think really kind of took them over the top into contention
For
again
sure.
this year.
Yeah.
Like it really reminds me of the Porzingis move from a couple years ago
Yeah.
that ultimately won them a championship.
No, I agree. Um, Coming in at number one, the Detroit Pistons at 60-22, top of the East.
This is where I had them.
Yeah, I had
Uh,
them at three, but
we'll get into awards. I had Cade winning MVP, which isn't gonna happen. But Detroit
before his
was
collapsed lung, there was a lot of momentum for that, though. Like,
there was there was. Um, but yeah, Detroit was pretty great this year. Jalen Duren, they gambled and lost on that contract. But he's gonna make a lot of money this season.
yeah,
Uh, they just yeah, they were really good. Even after the Cade collapsed lung, like they still got to the 60 game mark, which I think that's a pretty special thing for that franchise, especially after the last like really 2 decades.
yeah.
Like they've
This is their
been
first. I think it's
pretty bad since the
yeah,
Rip Hamilton, Chauncey Billups, Ben Wallace core
yeah.
kind of, faded out and left. Like
Well, because they were like what, like 17-64 or whatever, like 3 seasons ago.
yeah, they were the worst team in basketball for like 4 out of 5 years
Yeah,
from like 2019 to 2023.
yeah.
And they got the
That
Cade
was
pick, but they really like kind of got fucked in the lottery a couple
mm-hmm,
years.
a lot of number 4 and number 5 overall picks.
Yeah, they were
Um,
like kind of the first team that I really noticed being like, oh yeah, the new lottery odds really don't uh or they really do like change it. Like they don't reward bad play and like they were just bad. Like I don't think they were tanking.
no, yeah, for
Um
sure.
but like they got the lottery and they won the lottery in the Cade year, which I think was a pretty good year to win the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, it was like yeah, like Jaden Ivey and uh
I mean, they got a
Oscar
star.
Thompson,
Yeah,
who's ended up being good, but he was the fifth pick in a very good in a good draft, but a draft where it's like, fuck, if they got the two that year or the three that year, like that would have been
yeah,
nice.
right. But yeah, like this team, it's hard not to root for them. Cade, obviously MVP candidate going into this, like coming out of the season, I guess. Jalen Duren is a finalist for most improved. Asar Thompson is a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year. Like they have Dennis Jenkins was a I don't know if I'd necessarily say came out of nowhere, but like he was definitely a surprising like if Cade went out, you weren't like, oh, like fuck, what are they gonna do? They don't have anyone else that can is a serviceable
Right.
point guard. Like he came in and like when Cade, I think Cade missed a few games like kind of early on into the season, and Dennis Jenkins came in and had like 20 pieces and was just like playing out of his mind. Like it didn't feel like everything was falling apart when Cade had to miss time.
Right.
Tobias Harris obviously still good. Kevin Herter still good. Duncan Robinson had a great year. Like this team is awesome.
Yeah, they're fun. I think they're gonna pull it together against Orlando, and I think it'll be an interesting series against Cleveland for them. I still do like I know that there's a lot of hype around New York and Boston this year, but I still do think that Detroit's really in the mix.
Oh, 1,000%. I think at this point, seeing how Tatum has returned, the Celtics are probably my favorite out of the East right now. But like, I can't, especially like game one is leaves a bad taste in your mouth of that Pistons Magic game. But like, they're gonna bounce back. They'll be fine. Like, this is a really good team.
Yeah.
And as much as again we did say like the Cavs have, and I like they don't have to see the Knicks or Celtics until the conference finals. Like that kind of makes it sound like we're ignoring the Pistons, but like the Pistons can crush them if they play how they played this season. Like there's no
Yeah.
reason they can't make the finals.
I mean the major thing is Cade,
Yes, absolutely.
but I think if he is, you know, 90% this series and back to 100% by the second round, I think this is a very, very dangerous basketball.
We're back. This
We're
is
back.
kind of this is just going to be merged into one video, but we are a week later for the viewer at home. It'll be like 10 seconds, but it has been a week since we went over the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
Um, so that's our bad. Things happen, life happened,
Yeah.
job happened.
Luckily, Eastern and Western Conference standings didn't change any in the last week. We just
Correct.
have more playoffs to talk about. So
Yeah,
if there was ever a episode to take a week break for, it's this one.
correct. And we are gonna push. I think when we were doing the Eastern Conference, I said we'd also do like the award predictions. Um, but since half the awards, like most of the awards, are already out, we're just gonna not do that in this video, and we'll do like a separate awards video because at this point we're recording this Monday, or April 27th. Everything except MVP, I think, is already out, and like
Yeah,
maybe Coach of the Year. So, um, yeah, we're just gonna do a separate
I
award
believe that's
video.
correct.
Um,
Yeah, and then that way we have time because it's what is the date today? It's Monday the 27th. So I'm currently watching Orlando versus Detroit game 4. There's about 30 seconds left in the first half.
mhm.
Um, and so we've got a lot of playoffs to talk about on top of the Western Conference standings. So
Yeah,
I think it's gonna end up working out nicely to push off awards for a little bit and giving that its own episode so that we can talk about all this here.
yeah. So I guess in continuing with where we were at uh, last time, we went through the full Eastern Conference standings, and we're going out west.
We sure
So
are.
I need to pull up the current what the end of season standings were real quick.
Okay.
But yeah, so I think I'm good to go. You got your notes up?
Yeah, I've got them up. Um,
Perfect.
if you
Who'd
want to
you
go
have at the
ahead and
15?
so at 15, I had the Utah Jazz,
As
which
did
ended
I.
up being the actual 15 seed at 22-60.
Yeah. Um, I mean, I think they were still bad for most of the year, but Laurie Markkinen kind of was in and out towards the end of the year. They traded for Jaren Jackson, which was a big trade for them. I think setting them up nicely for next season, but he didn't play for them. He just got surgery, and that was the season. And then a nice breakout year from Keontae George, but it's still a young team. I liked the progression of Ace Bailey throughout the season. He definitely looked more confident post All Star break and like getting to his spots and being more aggressive on offense. Um, who was it? Was it Isaiah Collier that had like he also kind of got shut down towards the end of the season, but he had a few games where he was putting up like 20 some points and like 10 assists or something like that.
I think if there was ever a team, 15-1 is not really a thing that happens much in the NBA. Um, the worst to first sort of phenomenon is a little bit more of an NFL thing, I think, because the divisions are a lot tighter. It's a lot easier for a team to go from 4-1. But I think if there was ever a team that was well equipped to go from 15 to play in, or better, it was Utah. They kind of horseshoed back around from holding on to Lowry Markkinen way too long to suddenly kind of building pretty well around him. The Jaren Jackson Jr. edition, I think, is going to look pretty nice long term. As you were saying, Collier looked pretty good at the end of the year. Keontae George broke out. Like they have some infrastructure set up around Lowry Markkinen now that I think if you had asked me at the beginning of last year, I would have said like, yeah, it's a bunch of prospects. But now they have a little bit more to offer, and I think that they could be pretty solid next year. I don't know.
Yeah,
They're a team I'm keeping an eye on.
I agree. And I think it's hard to tell if this season was just an outlier for the Western Conference. We'll kind of get to more of those play-in range teams later, but the last season, you had like a 48 win team scraping into the play-in, and that was not the
Right.
case this year. The Western Conference was still solid, but a sub 500 team made the play-in, and that just
Yeah.
didn't that hasn't happened in the last few years, and so I don't know if we're just kind of seeing more of a separation in the Western Conference, which leaves a little bit of space for the Jazz. Like if they can even if they don't win 50 games, if they win 42 or 45, being able to kind of get into one of those play-in spots could be huge for them. It's not as
Right.
much of a bloodbath as it has been historically, which can be nice for a younger team still trying to get their footing.
Right. Right. Like they are absolutely a candidate to double their win total, which I think is pretty rare in the NBA. You don't see a lot of teams go from, 20 to 40 or whatever.
Yeah,
Like it's
right.
usually 20 to 26 to 35 or whatever.
Yeah. All right. Next up, going to 14. At my 14 seed, This is another one that I was way off on. I had the Suns at the 14 seed. Um, I didn't have any confidence really in this team as clearly going into the season, just because they didn't have Kevin Durant. Dylan Brooks, he's a good player, and he's kind of, I don't even want to say revived his career post Memphis, because he's always been a good player and he got a lot of money from Houston because he is a good player. But he
Right.
kind of reversed his image, or towards the end of his tenure in Memphis is kind of oh, this, he's a clown. He's a joker. He's not actually a good basketball player. And he was. And coming to Phoenix, he's a good player, but I also think he's more of a ceiling raiser than a floor raiser. And I was kind of proved wrong this year. He had an amazing season for them. Devin Booker played well as always. I've just never had much confidence in Devin Booker led teams, but they got a lot of good minutes from Colin Gillespie, and Grayson Allen did his thing this season, and Like they had a lot of guys step up. Jalen Green didn't play a whole lot of games, but when he came back post injury, he was still kind of his same self. Um,
Right.
so they had a lot of guys kind of step up, and the team ended up being a lot better than I thought they would be. Who'd you have at 14?
I had New Orleans here. They were kind
And
of
I
in
can't hear
that.
you.
Oh, sorry, I put you in my AirPods so that
Oh,
you wouldn't come out of the phone.
you're good.
But then yeah, Anyway, um, the Pelicans were kind of in this bottom five Western Conference teams group that was kind of interchangeable most of the year.
Yeah,
They ended up being the best of the five at the 11 seed, but they
it's
were not
pretty
very good.
close. Yeah. The
Yeah,
actual 14 seed, however, was the Sacramento Kings,
yeah,
who we're kind of outside of like the Mavericks. The bottom of the West is really bleak, and the Jazz, I guess, who we already covered. But like the rest of
yeah.
this bottom of the West is really bleak, and the Kings are one of those teams where it's like where do you go from here? Because this team is like it was a rough one.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the Kings' future looks like outside of getting a minuscule return for Domantas Sabonis. Um,
They can also get a minuscule return for DeMar DeRozan.
yeah, an even worse one.
Yeah,
Like,
and maybe Zach LaVine. I don't know if he's a free agent, but
yeah, they don't have anything that's really that enticing to me.
no.
I haven't seen Domantas Sabonis in a playoff setting that he looked really great in. Like, what were they, the 3 seed a couple years ago or something like that? The 4 seed?
I thought they were like 7, or maybe no, maybe the Warriors were. No, they were 7. I think
No,
the
I thought
Kings were.
there was one year they won like 50 games.
Let me. Oh yeah, I think that was they still lost to the Warriors.
Yeah. Was that
But
22?
yeah, 22-23. They were 48-34. They were the 3 seed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah. Um, like I'm not convinced. Like this core is obviously done. It's run
Yeah.
its course. This core was done when they traded Fox, but it is done, cooked, ready to serve. Like it is over for this group. Um, and at this point, I don't know what their return looks like. Not to spoil, had him at 13, so it's not like I had him much higher.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I just at this point with
I
Sacramento, yeah,
um I'm
blow it
gonna
up.
I'm gonna look up their future draft picks 'cause I don't like. Do they have their picks for the next few years? Yeah, they do. They have their own
I don't know why
picks.
they wouldn't.
Well, I didn't know if they gave up any in for like Demar or Zach LaVine or
That would be really funny.
that
They
would be.
gave up like 3 first-round picks for DeMar DeRozan, and that's why
Yeah,
they didn't have a first.
yeah. But yeah, so they do have their own picks. So like you can kind of build through the draft, but like if there was ever a team to whiff in one of the most stacked lotteries of recent history, it's the Kings. Um, they
Let's
I
say the
don't
Kings get the third overall pick. How likely do you think a whiff is there? Because at that point, like I think this draft is pretty much 3 premier prospects, and then like the 4 through 10 is very good. Maybe 4 premier prospects if like I know you're a Wilson guy.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
it's like 4 guys and then a pretty deep class after that.
yeah.
Um, how likely do you think a weird Kings pick at 3 is there? Like let's say it's like oh, I don't know. Who do we have here? Utah and Indiana, 1-2. they
Sure.
go like, uh, say Peterson Edgecombe, or not Edgecombe, Debansa,
Debansa.
Peterson Debansa.
Yeah.
Um, do you think the third pick is Boozer, or do you think it's like they kind of reach on Wilson, or they kind of reach on like a Goa Pete, or
That's
somebody
a
else
hard
like
one
that?
because like I I don't know what like I think they're gonna trade Sabonis, right? Like that would be the obvious thing because the thing is if you draft Cam Boozer or Caleb Wilson or I think Koa Pizza big, right? Like you're I wouldn't put Cam Boozer next to Sabonis. I wouldn't put Caleb Wilson next to Sabonis.
No, I
Like
don't think I would either.
if they're hesitant to trade Sabonis, I could very like reasonably like I could see them legitimately just trading down. I mean, like we have a top pick, like this is a stacked class. People are gonna want it. Let's trade down, which I don't think is the right move because they need to reset. But like, I mean, they traded for DeAndre Hunter this year. That seems like a move of a team that's trying to be somewhat relevant.
I know, that's the thing is they keep making these weird roster moves that if you were a contending team, they would be solid.
Yeah,
Maybe even like good. But they're not. They're the 13 seed or
right.
whatever.
14.
14. Like yeah, they're the
Yeah.
14 seed.
So that's my thing. Whereas like because I feel like I've seen reports all season of like they're ready to move on from Sabonis, they're ready to move on from DeRozan, they're ready to move on from this team, and then you get to the trade deadline and everybody's still there, and we're getting to the off like we'll probably get through the off season and everyone will still be there. Like I unless again if there's a big draft day move, like if I don't know let's say who's like a fringe if the well I don't know if like a fringe like a fringe contending Western Conference lottery team like a team that's closer to making the play in like gets the second overall pick or the first overall pick and the Kings fall like maybe they trade
The
Sabonis for
Oklahoma
that
City
top
Thunder.
pick. Oh my god, I just you reminded me that that's a possibility. God damn it. But like my point is like maybe they trade Sabonis to like try and get to like the first or second overall pick, but like otherwise I don't see a single like fringe contending or contending team that would be like, yeah, let me take on Sabonis and give up like valuable assets.
Wouldn't that would be a really funny way for the Warriors to piss off their fans if they got the first overall pick and traded it
Traded
for like
yeah.
fucking Sabonis and DeMar DeRozan and like didn't
Oh,
even get Keegan Murray.
yeah.
That would make them so furious.
Did. But dude, you get another year of Steph Curry in them.
Oh my god. I
Trade
yeah,
Jimmy
no,
Butler, Draymond Green, and the first
you
pick for
finally got rid
Sabonis and DeRozan.
of the Hall of Fame coach play that was plaguing your bad roster.
Oh yeah,
Although
Steve Kerr's
he did
done,
fuck
isn't
up
he?
with Kaminga.
Yeah,
It's becoming more and more apparent that he fucked up bad there.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think he gets. I guess they haven't had too many young prospects, but like,
No, they haven't, but right,
yeah,
we'll get to
Kaminga was
that
a
with the Atlanta series, but
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's if you told me that that was the whole reason he decided to retire, I would be like, yeah. If he watched like the first couple games of the Knicks series and was like, yeah, I fucking whiffed, man. I can't show my face.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So the Kings are cooked. Moving on to 13. I had the Mavs at 13.
I had the Sacramento Kings at 13.
Okay. The real 13 seed was the Memphis Grizzlies. Oh boy, the Grizzlies are fried. I mean, I
Yeah.
think everybody kind of thought they'd be worse this year when they had lost, when they traded Desmond Bain for like a haul of picks. Like, that's not a contending right now move. But then they traded Jaren Jackson this season. Ja Morant, like, didn't play and is like, nobody wants him. Um, he's like that. I think I showed, like, you've seen like the who want me and it's 100% no.
I will
That's
say
Ja Morant.
yes. I have seen that. It's very sweet. I'm watching Desmond Bain and the Orlando Magic, and Ja and Trey J showed up courtside on the broadcast to support their
Aw,
buddy. So
that's nice.
I think it's very nice that that team still has kind of a, bond, even though
Yeah, they're
they're
still
all
boys.
over the place now.
Yeah,
Like
but the
like literally
Grizzlies,
as maybe as far geographically as they can be from each other on NBA
Utah,
teams.
Orlando, Memphis. Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah,
maybe put John like New York and you got more of it, but
Toronto.
yeah, Toronto.
But yeah, the Grizzlies are kind of like Cam Spencer. I guess was like kind of a highlight this season. Cedric Howard was all right. But
I
like
gotta be honest, I watched almost zero Memphis Grizzlies basketball this year. They were
I
probably my least watched League Pass team.
I think I think I don't think I watched a single Nets game. I can at least say I watched Grizzlies minutes. I
I
don't think I
watched a little
watched
more
Nets
than
minutes.
Nets.
Um, but like yeah, I think the big thing with the Grizzlies is that Ja Morant is out basically. And like when he did, like he played a few games for them this season, and was just like terrible. Like
Yeah,
he looked like he didn't want to be there. He was like he kind of had a few good games towards the end before they like shut him out for the season. But like he had a lot of games where he's putting up like 14 points on like 4 of 18 from the field or whatever, and like it was rough.
he
Zach
looks like
Edey
he had
missed a lot of like
regressed
pretty
massively.
much the entire season, um, and he's like the one kind of bright spot on this team. So the
Right.
Grizzlies, I guess one good thing about the Grizzlies is like regardless of what happens with the Ja Morant situation, because that's just such a toss up as to like where he's going to go and what's going to happen. They have acquired like what like 8 first round picks for the future, so like
They're well
they
set
don't
up.
they have a foundation.
They're I think it's did they get 4 from Utah for
Let me
Jackson?
check.
I thought it was like 3. But
Uh,
either way,
they
I thought it
got
was 3 because we were like, oh, it's 7 with that, and then it would be 10 if they can swing 3
oh
for
yeah
Ja.
they got 3 for Jaren Jackson,
Damn.
which still I mean pretty good.
No,
And he's
that's a great damn. That is a they are well set up sort of
and they
damn.
got
They just
Walter Clayton
don't.
who could like maybe be something.
Yeah, he's interesting to me. He's another like they've kind of drafted a couple older guys over the last few years and kind of prime spots. Like I don't remember where they got Clayton, but I know they took Edie at like
Well, they just traded
9.
him from the Jazz. The Jazz took him at 18.
Um, that's right. That's right. Um, and so they basically got 4 first round picks for Jackson because they acquired Clayton as part of that deal.
Yeah.
Um, but it seems like they're kind of trying to build a foundation that's a little bit older, which I don't necessarily dislike, especially if, like let's say they grab one of the top 3 guys this year in the lottery, like suddenly you've got a little bit of an older foundation with this great prospect. I think that's kind of a good landing spot to be in if you're one of these freshman one and dones.
Yeah. Um. All right. Coming in at number 12, I had the Kings here.
I had the Phoenix Suns here
Okay.
with.
The actual number 12 was the Dallas Mavericks at 26 and 56.
Yeah. Uh I gotta say, Dallas ended up being a team that I watched a lot more towards the end of the year. Like I watched them a lot at the beginning, and then I didn't really watch them much in the middle, and I watched them a lot like March.
Yeah.
And the jump that Cooper Flag took throughout this season
Oh, he's been
was
amazing.
like he was one of the 20 best players in the NBA in like March, April. He was unbelievably good. And like I am not a person that's like, oh, fucking Nico Harrison vindicated. But I am a person that's kind of like they've got something here with him,
Oh
and
yeah.
I think that they've got a decent foundation outside of him. They've got a lottery pick here. If they can get in the top, if they can grab Wilson or somebody like a wing,
Yeah.
I would really like that for them. I don't know. I'm high on Dallas going forward now that, especially now that they don't have Nico Harrison in a position of power. Like,
Right.
I
Well,
do think it was kind of a shot themselves in the foot, and then realized they had cancer and it accidentally amputated themselves, and it's
sure.
a good thing. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
You
like
still lost a
not,
foot though.
yeah, they did still lose a foot.
They still lost a
Um,
top 3, 4 player in the league.
right, but they got a pretty good prosthetic,
Sure. I
and
agree.
I don't know. I'm higher on the Mavericks going forward than I think I was going into this year.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like we'll see. I think a big thing for me is going to be how this draft lottery plays out. But
Yeah.
I still like Cooper Flag was amazing this year. I think he's going to continue to be amazing. He's a great player. But like this current Mavs team and the Mavs team for the next probably like 2 to 3 years is a team that was built around Luka Doncic's skill set. Like Cooper
Yep.
Flag doesn't need PJ Washington on the court with him, or Klay Thompson on the court with him, or Daniel Gafford on the court with him. Like they traded for Chris Middleton just kind of to get rid of Anthony Davis. Like they have a lot of guys like Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving might play well next to Cooper Flag if he's able to come back from this injury well. But like a lot of the guys on this team were meant to complement Luka Doncic and his like very ball heavy like playmaking play style. And like Cooper Flag's not a bad playmaker by any means. He averaged 7 assists this year, but like that's not really his game. And he is like kind of a
Right.
bigger player. Like he plays bigger than like Luka Doncic does, for example. And so like a lot of the guys on this team just aren't meant for him. And like you can clean house, sure, but that's going to take a few years. So I feel like until that happens and until like if they can get a top prospect this year and like maybe next year and like using some of the other assets they have, they can like trade some of these guys and get players that complement Cooper Flag better. Yeah, I think the Mavericks in like 3 or 4 years are going to be amazing. But like until then, you kind of just have this team of like puzzle pieces for the wrong puzzle.
I think it's hilarious that we are kind of in just like 2019 for the Mavericks again, where they have this
Yeah,
amazing young player and a bunch of kind of mismatched parts around him, except instead of like, it wasn't like left over from building around Dirk, because that those teams were already long gone by the time they got Luca. It was more just kind of trying to build around what they had and maybe get a free agent and all that shit.
yeah.
Um, and this is like, oh no, this was a finals team like 2 years
2 years
ago,
ago. Yeah,
and now it seems like they have gotten rid of you know the main foundational piece, obviously, of that team, and they've
yeah,
swapped it Anthony Davis and gotten rid of him in the calendar year. Um, but yeah, I think that they could be set up to go far in a couple of years. It may be like a thing where, like, I don't know if like you remember Luca's first couple years where they were like kind of on the edge of the 8 seed, the play in, and then they
yeah,
finally got over the hump and became a fairly consistent playoff team.
yeah. I think people like Nico Harrison, rightfully so, gets an insane amount of shit for this Luca trade. But like the 2 years before he completely blew up this team, like the Mavericks made a lot of really good moves to like build a team
Yeah,
around Luca. So like I think they just need to do that with Cooper Flag.
agreed.
All right, going into what are we at now? Hold on. Going into the 11 seed, I had the Grizzlies here.
I had the Portland Trailblazers here.
Okay. The actual 11 seed was the New Orleans Pelicans. The
Yeah.
the
Uh,
Pelicans.
boy howdy, dude. They're
Goddamn.
just the same shit
Every
every year.
single year. Yeah. I had the Pelicans at 8. I thought this was, and by the way, like they're an 11 seed. It's not a good, like they're not like, oh, they were almost there. Like they won 26 games. This team
Yeah,
was
no,
ass.
they are at the
They weren't
top
like a
of the
35
worst five
win,
teams in the
like
West.
yeah, they're not. They were not like a 35 win, almost made it, but you see progress team. They were bottom of the barrel, and like
Yeah.
I had them at 8. I thought Trey Murphy's a great player, and he had a good year. Like Zion, if he's healthy, and he also had a very good year. Like they had a lot of guys that just played well individually. Like I think Sadiq Bey had a great season. Derek Queen had a good rookie year. Like
Yves
Jeremiah
Misi, I
Fears
think,
had a
played pretty
really good
well.
year. Yeah, Yves Missy had a solid year. Like they had like they have guys like Dejounte Murray came back from his injury and like kind of balled out. Like he had a lot of really good games, and like obviously it still takes him some time to get his feet under him, but like he had a by all measures pretty good year. Like Jordan Poole had a not great year, but like for Jordan Poole, it's like, oh, it's not that bad, I guess. Um, but
Yeah, I
like
mean, considering
they
where
had
he
like
coming from, where he was playing in zero structure, expected to play with, you know, just team of pretty good parts.
yeah, like they had a lot of guys that like individually had solid seasons, and then they just won 26 games.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know where the like what the solution is for them at this point. Like I'm kind of always on the just trade Zion
yeah,
like bandwagon at this point because I think that he is a guy that could have such a good second act if you put him in the right spot with the right point guard in the right city that's known for their steakhouses and convention centers and the fact that they host the NFL Combine every year, maybe. Um, but like or like Denver, maybe. Like I think he's a guy that could go somewhere and play really well with the right set of players. And it just they keep not doing it because they want to build around him, and then he either gets hurt or the team falls off in some stupid way, or he falls off in some stupid way and plays foul. Like there are times where he'll just slump and not be hurt.
yeah,
And I don't know. I think New Orleans is at the point now where they should probably trade him. They should probably just do what Memphis has done. They should trade him. They should trade Trey Murphy. They should trade Murray. They should trade Poole. Because honestly, if you trade those four guys, you can probably get a fairly equivalent package total to what Memphis is going to end up getting for Ja, Trey J,
yeah.
Desmond if they end up trading Ja this offseason.
You know what's really awesome about the Pelicans? Because I just looked it up. The Hawks have the rights to a pick swap with them. So like,
That's right.
so the
Oh,
Pelicans, even if they get like a top 5 pick, it is not their pick.
oh, fuck, dude, you are right.
So
Oh
like,
my god.
this team, right? Joe, and they had the Pacers pick, by the way, too. They traded that back in the finals last season, right before
Yeah.
Tyrese tore his Achilles. Like they had the Pacers pick.
All time Pritchard move back
So
right
like,
there.
did he have the script? I mean,
He
I
did
guess
have
Joe
the
Dumars
script.
just didn't. But like, so they can't like outside of trading, like maybe you can trade out, like use Zion and trade up in this draft, right? Like that's possible, I guess. But like outside of that, they have no way to get better this year or like
Yeah.
set up their future or anything like that. They just got a hodgepodge of like pieces that could like maybe get you a first round pick under the right circumstances, and Zion, who could like probably get you 2 or 3, maybe if if even at this point.
I
Um,
could see a couple teams giving up 3 with the logic of like we're contenders, these aren't going to be high picks anyway.
the
And his
Warriors are going to trade
services.
Draymond Green and like 2 first round picks for Zion.
No, I'm thinking more like the Pacers, the that I was unsubtly alluding to earlier, right? Because
Oh,
they already did that for Pascal, who I think at the time was like a guy that was borderline worth 2, maybe 3,
do you
and they
think
went
they
ahead
move
and
on
just
from
traded
Pascal
3.
for Zion this year?
No, not necessarily, but I think they maybe I don't know what it looks like. I think that a Zion is a supercharged Obi Toppin is kind of the role I imagine him in with the Pacers.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um, and I think that that's a move that could be made and still you could still have Pascal comfortably in the lineup.
Yeah. All right, coming in at number 10 in the play-in now, I had the Portland Trailblazers.
I had the Memphis Grizzlies.
The actual 10 seed was the Golden State Warriors. They finished 37 and 45 and lost in the play-in. Rough year for them. Moses Moody and Jimmy Butler going out in like two back-to-back games or whatever. The Kuminga saga finally came to a close. You got
in the worst way.
Kristaps for him. Yeah.
They got Kristaps for him, and then they had to go watch. They lost in the play-in, and then they had to watch him ball the fuck out.
Yeah.
For like basically every game after he got traded.
Yeah. Steph Curry missed a lot of the season with patellofemoral pain syndrome, some kind of knee injury, so that doesn't bode well for him. Just kind of going forward, he is like 38, so kind of rough. Yeah. But one bright spot, Pods had 30.
Pods did have 30.
I mean, that's huge. His first 30 piece of his career, I believe.
And he was honestly pretty good this year. Like, I think he's a guy that gets a lot of shit, but he played very well consistently throughout the season.
Yeah, especially like once Steph Curry went down, I don't know. Pod's one of those guys, like, he played well, but it didn't really like help them win any games.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Warriors, very rough season for them. And it's
Where'd you have them?
The Warriors, I had them at 9.
Okay.
I had them at 9 under the assumption Steph Curry was healthy and the West was more competitive towards the bottom, but I had them at 9.
Right.
But like, yeah, the thing is, like, you can't rebuild. Steph Curry wants to play like multiple more seasons. But like,
yeah,
they kind of need to.
Right.
It's kind of gotten a little like they don't. How many do they have their own pick for the next few years?
Oh God, dude, I believe so.
Okay, yeah, they have their own picks. Okay, like 2030 goes to Washington, but until then they have their own picks. It looks like so that's good. At least they can. New head coach, maybe a head coach that prioritizes development a little bit more, and is like willing to actually play young players and not have them just be a give Steph the ball merchant.
Right.
Like somebody whose name rhymes with Beeve Burr. But yeah, I don't know. I really like talking about the Warriors. Kind of just makes me sad. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I'm fine with not taking much time to talk about them because I was very wrong. I had them at the 6th seed. I kind of just slightly more positive outlook than you had. I assumed that everybody was going to be that Steph was going to be fully healthy, and that this was going to be sort of a last ride for this like core with Jimmy Butler added on, and then Jimmy Butler and Moses Moody got hurt, and they traded Kuminga, and Steph Curry was hurt most of the year, and it was like, all right, well, fuck.
Yeah, it kind of fell apart. Pat Spencer looked okay though sometimes, so there you go.
Yeah, Pat Spencer looked okay sometimes. What a year.
I'm trying to find something, man. I'm trying to find something.
Also, score check. 4.5 to go in the third in this game. Orlando's up 68-65.
Suns just went on an 8-0 run and are up 17-13 on the Thunder. So.
Oh damn.
Yeah. But anyway, all right. So moving on, at the 9 seed, I had the Golden State Warriors here.
I had Dallas here.
And the real 9 seed was the Los Angeles Clippers. I mean, look, I'm still in the camp of I wish nothing but curses and a downfall for the Clippers after the way they treated my goat. But
Yeah.
considering how this season started, where they were like the 15 seed and the laughing stock of the league, like pretty good rebound. They made the
Yeah.
play in. They unfortunately didn't make the playoffs, but like in the process, they got Benedict Mathurin. They got Darius Garland. Like they got some younger guys kind of to build around going forward. Um, they still have Kawhi. The aspiration thing didn't really like go anywhere.
It did
So
not.
I don't know what's gonna happen with that because I feel like it's kind of hard for other teams to pick him up at this point. So you might just
I
be stuck
still
there.
think I'll put it this way, I still think it's a story and that it matters, but I don't think anything is going to end up coming of it at this
Absolutely, yeah,
point. Like
I
I
agree.
think that there should be I think that more NBA teams should be looked into for off the books sort of deals like this.
Yeah,
Um but ultimately I think that there's maybe enough plausible deniability for the Clippers and
yeah,
Kawhi to get out of this
I
without,
agree.
anything major happening.
Yeah, but the Clippers don't have their pick this year because that goes to the Thunder. They don't have their
But they
pick next year
might
because
have
it's
the
a swap
Pacers
with the
pick.
Thunder. Yeah, they might if the pick if it's like what 5-9 or something. It's
5 to 10.
5 to
Which is
10.
basically
They get
like
it.
if the Pacers have a I think like 60-40 shot of keeping their pick.
Yeah, but if it's honestly if it's not top like 3 or 4, I'm okay with that. Um,
Yeah, it would kind of suck to lose it for like I mean I guess it's like we're taking Ivica Zubats with our 5th overall pick,
yeah.
which
Well, that's the thing
I
too is
guess isn't that
Zubac
bad
with James
thinking about
Harden
it
was
like that.
like an all-star caliber player, so
He
I'm
was.
okay with that. Um, but they don't have their pick. Well, they might have their pick next year. It's a swap with the Thunder. They don't have their pick in 28. Their 29 pick is a swap with Philly, and then finally in 2030 they have their own first round pick. So outside of Darius Garland, Benedict Mathurin, and like potential swaps, they don't really have a whole lot going on pick wise. Um, but they're all right. I don't know. They're kind of stuck in purgatory at this point.
Yeah.
Um, okay, at number 8, I had the Pelicans. Big swing and a miss.
I had the Lakers here, also swing and a miss, but in the opposite way.
Yeah. The actual 8 was the Portland Trail Blazers, who I had them at 10, but big jump for them. Denny Avdia had a all-star season. He played amazing. He's a
Yeah.
bit of a free throw merchant, though. Just saying.
Just a
But like
bit, yeah.
they
Or a
got
lot.
some, yeah, like a lot, yeah. But they got some really good minutes out of Drew Holiday this season, kind of after his last few years being kind of a bench role player. He had an amazing year this year. He's probably their second best player. They had like Donovan Clingan played really well, played some really good defense. Tumani Kamara, same thing. Um,
Grant.
yeah, Jeremy Grant played well. Shaden Sharp played well. Scoot Henderson towards the end of this year has kind of turned it around and been playing better. Um,
He's a classic example. Like they're a lot more rare nowadays, I think, but of the like sometimes you just got to give a guard like a year, like 2 years to
yeah,
really figure it out because it is
right.
the hardest adjustment. He's a little smaller, like a point guard shooting guard is the guy I think that or the position that I think most consistently takes a bit to adjust to the league and it seems like he's I don't know if he's going to hit his draft ceiling, but I think it seems like he's a much better player than people were giving him credit for in like January, being called like fucking who's that guy that got drafted after or before right before Michael Jordan? Sam Bowie.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, the Trailblazers had a pretty good year. Tiago Splitter kind of came in after the whole Chauncey Billups with like a
Yeah,
gambling FBI investigation or something, and they've been pretty good with him. I think you mentioned I actually didn't know this, but you mentioned it yesterday that like the owner has like not talked to him at all about extending him or rehiring him, and has been like interviewing other candidates, which is crazy to me. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, but still, nonetheless, very good season for Portland. A good progression from last year, and like that's kind of the trajectory you want to see from a young team.
Yeah. Agreed.
Um, Coming in at 7, I had the Clippers here,
I also had the Clippers.
and the real 7 was the Suns.
What a surprise.
Yeah, I agree. I already kind of said my Suns piece
Me
earlier,
too.
so yeah, great season for them. Dylan Brooks, hell of a year. Oh, I got to take a call real quick. I'll be back in a sec.
Welcome
All right,
back.
we're back. Slight interruption from me. My bad. We were talking about the Suns. Like I already kind of said my piece about the Suns. Dylan Brooks had an amazing year. Devin Booker played well. Their role players stepped up this year in a big way. Like 45 wins for this team is like kind of double what I was expecting out of them. Um,
Yeah, really.
so yeah, great year for them. But I also don't have a whole lot more to say about them. I feel like we already kind of.
No, I don't either. They're gonna get
All right.
swept probably.
Yeah.
But much better year. They probably hit their
Sure.
ceiling.
Yeah. Coming in at number 6, I had the Timberwolves.
I had the Golden State Warriors.
The actual 6 seed was the Timberwolves. 49 and 33
Mm-hmm.
though. That's a very good 6 seed. Um, they I don't know. I feel like it's kind of the thing with the Timberwolves. They've done it the last few years where they're like a lower seed and then they just play well in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Ant had an amazing year. He's one of those guys. Like he played 61 games or something, so he's not eligible for like the awards, but like he would be like all NBA first team probably. Like he played amazing. Julius Randle had a
Yeah.
good year. Like Rudy Gobert had a good year. You got Dante. Unfortunately, did tear his Achilles during Game 3 of the Nuggets series or Game 4. But he had a really good year for them. Um, they traded for Io at the trade deadline, which I thought was an amazing pickup, and it
One of the
proved to be
best.
in the playoffs. But
Yeah.
he's just that was a great pickup. I don't know. I like this team a lot. I think they're one of those teams like I don't see them making. They're not going to make it out of the West, but like if they made a conference finals, I wouldn't be like, well, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah. I agree with everything you say. Um, Unfortunately, I may have to be the bearer of bad news here. Do you know what Anthony Edwards is diagnosed with?
Oh fuck, he's out. Oh, I forgot about that.
4-week
Never
bone
mind.
bruise.
Yeah, I totally I saw the Dante injury. I totally forgot. That's out.
I just found out today when I was because I wrote something like a summary of the last week for the playoffs for my Substack, and I
Check out
was
Aiden's
like,
Substack
"Fuck!"
promo.
Oh yes, please check out my Substack. But yeah, I saw that Ant was out, and I was like, man, really like agree with everything you say. Like they were well poised to be in a position that they've kind of been in the last couple years, where it's
Yeah.
not as good in the regular season, get a lower seed, and then flame on in the playoffs. But
Yeah. No,
now that
that's
DiVincenzo's out and Ant's gonna be out for
Yep.
probably 2 or 3 weeks at least, like I think
Yeah.
they're probably still gonna win this series. I think, but I think
I
they're
don't know.
a cooked
No,
product after
Ant.
that.
We'll see.
No, it could be a 3-1. It could be a Mickey Mouse 3-1 for the Nugs. Um, but yeah, I think even if they do win it, they're probably a finished product for the year, which is a shame because they were.
Yeah, that does suck.
Um,
Fuck,
but
dude, you just
Dosunmu,
reminded me of that. Oh,
I know. I'm
yeah.
so
It's not your fault.
having Dosunmu long term is a very like like exchanging exchanging Dillingham for Dosunmu was such a perfect upgrade and exactly what they needed at the position. I really, really, really like that. Like having him for 82 games next year, I think is going to be a big change.
I agree. All right, going into 5, I had the Los Angeles Lakers.
I had the Minnesota Timberwolves.
The actual 5 seed was the Houston Rockets at 52-30. Oh boy,
Yeah,
the
man.
Rockets
Get off my
season.
Dickerson cooked the season.
The Rockets season, man. I predicted
Dude.
when they made like the Kevin Durant acquisition, I was like, they'll probably like their regular season they won't be a 2 seed again. Like they'll probably take a slight dip record wise, but like Kevin Durant's a guy you trade for him for the playoffs. Like
Like,
they're poised to make a deep playoff run this year because
can
they
I
got
tell
that
you?
off court scorer.
I'm gonna spoil it. I thought they were gonna be the 2 seed.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. We were both well, and especially dude, opening night Rockets Thunder.
Oh,
I saw that game.
dude.
I was like, dude, this is a conference finals matchup waiting to happen.
Yes, they
And
looked very good.
then KD,
Especially like throughout the year when Reed Shepard kind of came into his own
yeah,
after Van Fleet got hurt. Like,
yeah, they and now look at him. KD, oh my, see, I've been a KD hater since like 2015, 2016.
yeah. Whenever he went to the Warriors,
Yeah,
flipped for
yeah,
me because I loved
yeah.
him before that.
I did too. I had his jersey in like after his MVP,
I
or I
did
had his
too. I
jersey.
had an Oklahoma City jersey.
Yeah. But like he is like a textbook definition of like money can't unlame you. Like he is such a loser.
No.
Oh my god. This
I
fucking
proposed
guy.
this question in our group chat the other day, and I want to talk about it. Take maybe 5 for it here. Do you think? Because we're at the point now, the Rockets are, they got the 5 seed. They went down 3-0 to, LeBron James and the Bad News Bears. Like,
Without AR and Luca.
yeah, just a bad Lakers team with a 41-year-old man as the best player.
And by the way,
And
Kevin Durant's apparently away from the team. Like I think after like the post
yeah,
game in game 3, Jabari's like, "Yeah, we don't really know what's going on with him. Like he isn't
it's
here."
like quote unquote rehabbing.
Yeah.
Um, but he's also like game to game, so why is he away from the team? Like
Bro, cuz
it's a
he
very
hates
weird
them.
situation. Well, that's the thing is at this point it seems like, and if you somehow don't know what's being referred to, All-Star Weekend, Kevin Durant was outed basically for being in a bunch of these basketball group chats on Twitter on a
On
burner
like a
account
burner
and
account. Yeah.
talking a bunch of shit about the like first through third year Rockets players that he was supposed to come in and like mentor
He
basically.
called Jabari Smith the R word, called him mentally deficient. He like insulted like Sengun and Reed Shepard. But like the thing, it's not even that. He insulted Chris Paul. He insulted Russell Westbrook. He insulted like
He was talking
James Harden.
crazy
Like
shit about the entire NBA. It was a
yeah, Kyrie
very
Irving.
yes,
Basically every
very
like player
bizarre.
he's ever played with that's like notable. Well, he was like, yeah, this guy fucking sucks and I'm better than him. Like, oh, this guy's a dork. This guy's a loser. I'm so
Steph,
much better than these guys. Steph Curry, he insulted Steph fucking Curry. Like,
yeah.
dude, oh my, this
He should
guy.
be he should be he should be sucking Steph Curry's dick every morning for the 2 rings
Oh
that
my
Steph Curry
god.
helped him get.
No, that
Sorry.
Steph Curry was the engine of those teams.
Right. Yeah, helped him get is doing some work. It's like how my car helps me get to work every morning. But like
Yeah, like nobody was double teaming Kevin Durant. We talked about this yesterday because we were watching playoffs yesterday. Like we were having a Kevin Durant legacy discussion as well.
yeah.
Nobody was double teaming Kevin Durant. Everyone cared about Steph. Those are his teams.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah, Kevin Durant. Oh my God, he come like I don't know.
And for what it's worth, has like has barely played like this series. Like he played the second game
yeah,
that they lost. He was 1 of 4 from 3. But he hasn't played most of this series. He's for all intents and purposes no longer there.
yeah. And like it's one of those things where it's like technically like some of the stuff he's been saying, like you can see like the Rockets have problems. That's
Right.
undeniable. It's not like I'm not trying to put all of this blame on Kevin Durant and say he ruined this otherwise finals contending team. Like the Rockets have problems. But like
No, it
to
was, and
be
if
the
you remember when
veteran
Fred Van
leader,
Fleet got hurt, it was like, oh, they that might have closed their window this year.
yeah. But like to be the veteran leader of this team and be acting like a middle schooler, like
It's
come on.
crazy, dude.
Yeah. But the Rockets are cooked. They're down 3. Like they got like the gentleman's game against the Lakers. They'll probably lose in 5. I mean, they still have like the thing is they still have a lot of young players. I don't know how much something like this impacts them, like going forward.
Yeah, it's weird. I think that they almost kind of have to trade him
Yeah,
right
I don't think
now,
you bring him
which
back.
feels like at this point just retire, man. Like he's been traded. Like it has now not worked out in the exact same way the last two places he's been.
Yeah,
And
but
you know,
I'd say
it
even
wasn't
more
as
like
clear in Phoenix that he was a toxic presence, but it's very clear here in
yeah.
Houston
And
he
it's
is a
also, I think it's
toxic
kind of
presence
clear in the
and not good
results
for the
that
development
Phoenix
of
has
people.
been having this year, right? Like
True, they exchanged him for Jalen Green and Dylan, and they got
they
like
got
they
better
were
than
the eighth
any
seed.
season they had with Kevin Durant.
Yes.
like,
Well,
um,
there was that one year that like the year they traded for him that they played Denver and kind of closed in the first round. But yeah, that was the highlight.
yeah, I guess.
Or the
But
second.
like,
Was
yeah,
that the first or the
he
second round?
is for. I don't think they ever made it out of the first round with KD. They lost to the. They got like swept by the Timberwolves and then missed the playoffs after that.
Yeah, dude, he's just
But like the Brooklyn ended kind of nasty. Golden State ended nasty, which like some of that you can put on Draymond Green, I guess. But like I don't
yeah,
absolve Kevin
Golden
Durant of
State.
anything. OKC
I
ended nasty.
I do understand why he left Golden State. Like I didn't blame him for it. I at the time, in fact, I was like glad he did. I just was kind of annoyed that he just had to pair up with somebody else.
Yeah,
I guess, but like even that, I was like, all right, well, I'm fine with pairs over super teams.
yeah,
Um, it's just, yeah, Brooklyn was a bad departure, weird departure. Phoenix was a bad departure.
hmm
Houston, it's looking to be a bad departure. Like, where else is he gonna go? Like, I could see Minnesota maybe putting together a package for him, and maybe that's the decent scenario. But outside of that, like, he kind of backed himself into a corner. I think.
yeah. And well, it's too. It's hard for any team to really justify bringing that into their locker room right now.
Like, what is it like? Are the like Bulls gonna send a couple picks for him so that he can like shit all over Josh Giddey and
Yeah, Matas.
Zealous and their young core that they've kind of put together? Like, no. Like at this
Yeah,
point, I feel like he's almost like I don't want to say negative value because he's still so good, but
locker
there's
room. Like
just
you got to consider that.
you do, especially with a guy his age. Like, well, what are you trading for with a 37-year-old? Trading for, yes, his play, which is still at a very good level, but you're also hopefully trading for a leader
Yeah,
and somebody that's going to, at the very least, be a net neutral. Like
yeah,
I do, I'm not gonna kid myself and think that anybody's gonna trade for Kawhi for his locker room presence, but he's not gonna go in there and fuck shit up. He's just gonna
right.
go in there and
Play
be
sometimes.
kind of nothing and play sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, I also Ime Udoka, like this playoff series against the Lakers, he has been thoroughly outcoached. Um, and like throughout
Yeah.
the season, I think a lot of their like it's hard. You right, you lose Freddie, you lose Kevin Durant, but like Fred Van Fleet was not the missing piece that was going to tie this all together. He's not like an
No.
all-world offensive generator. He's like a pretty solid point guard. Um, like Kevin Durant at this point in his career, we know what he is. He's a guy that's going to give you like 25 to 30 a night, and
Yep.
kind of that's it. And like that's not fixing the problems in this team. That's just putting tape over the holes.
Right.
And like, so this team has problems. Ime Udoka has not been coaching this team well, which like some of that I think is just they're young guys, they're inexperienced. This roster is missing some pieces, but like some of it's also like you got to be better as this guy who is revered as like one of the best coaches in the league.
Right. Yeah. I don't think this should get him fired.
No, I don't think so.
But I think that if they, you know, look, if they get rid of Kevin Durant and don't improve next year, I would be a little concerned because they're going to get Fred VanVleet back.
Yeah.
They're going to need to make some sort of other roster move to make sure, because if they get rid of Kevin Durant and bring back Fred VanVleet, and that's the only things they do, they'll be running back the roster they had last year without Dillon Brooks. And add Reed Shepherd, I guess, because he didn't really play last year.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
that's not a team I'm super confident on, especially, you know, once we get to the top of the West, and you know, we got some monsters up there, and
right.
I don't see any monsters in Houston. I see some pretty good young a pretty good young core that is definitively monsterless.
Yeah. I think getting Steven Adams back could help. I think people forget like last year when Steven Adams and Sengun were on the court at the same time, they're like by far the best rebounding team in the league. And they're getting like every offensive rebound, which is something this team could really use because they miss a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. But anyway, that's enough KD slander because I could honestly do that all night.
Yeah. We'll have I was just thinking we need to have like a KD episode this summer.
Just a full
to talk about, like, you know, because I'm sure there'll be some trade rumors. We can talk about that, but also maybe just air out some Kevin Durant grievances, because I think that's fun. We already do that, like,
yeah. But dude, I could
on our own. We might as well
do
record
that.
it.
Put me on a mic for 12 hours. I can nonstop talk shit about KD.
Yeah,
I do not
12-hour
like
Kevin Durant charity stream.
Yeah. Like, I don't like him as a player. I don't like him as a person. There's really nothing I like about KD. So I am down for that.
Hell yeah, dude.
Coming in at number 4, I had the Spurs.
I also had the Spurs here.
And the actual number 4 team, led by Kevin Durant's father, is the Los Angeles Lakers at 53-29. The Lakers had a really good year. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like saying something and it was cutting out. But okay. Anyway.
Oh no, I was just laughing.
Okay. The Lakers had a really good year. It was weird because media coverage would have you think this was like the worst team ever and Luka Doncic sucks. But he was very good and this team had a very good year.
Yeah.
Him and Austin Reeves, Luka and Austin Reeves, were both out for this first round, but LeBron and Luke Kennard and Rui and Marcus Smart have been leading this team to a 3-1 lead against Houston in the first round. They're looking to get to the second round. They could maybe get to the conference finals, honestly. I wouldn't... Wait, no. No, they couldn't.
They play Oklahoma City.
Play the
they
Thunder.
will not go
Never
to the
mind.
conference
finals. I thought they were playing the Nuggets. Never mind. Correct. They will be losing in the second round. But still, pretty good year from them. You're kind of getting this first full season of Luka with the Lakers, and he was an MVP candidate. Austin Reeves is trying to play for $200 million. LeBron, I think, is kind of done with them. I don't really know what's going on there, but like there's some bright spots. Like Luke Kennard played well. Rui's always been very solid for them. Like you see bright spots on this team going forward. But I think the main story with them was Luka.
Yeah, the Lakers were kind of weird this year because I watched them. They're another team that I watched. I watched them pretty consistently, but I watched them a lot at the beginning of the year when they were kind of at their, you know, most incongruent sort of you know, group, and then they got LeBron back, and things didn't necessarily fall into place when he or because he came back, but they sure looked a lot better with LeBron. And maybe it is because he came back. Like, honestly, dude,
Yeah.
I don't know at this point. Like, I would like to also give a lot of credit to Luka Doncic, coming into his role with a team that is very differently built than the team he was on previously.
Yeah.
The Lakers, I had them. God, I had them low. Um, I had them at the 8 seed. Mostly just because the rest of the roster was pretty trash, outside of the big three, and I just, yeah, sorry, I didn't think a 41-year-old LeBron James would continue. Like, he played like probably just about 80% of his best years, which is still top 20 player in the league,
Yeah.
top 25 player in the league. Like,
Yeah.
he just
He
was
probably had his best year
very,
since like
very good.
21.
And I was expecting him to be like 60 to 70% of
Yeah.
his best years, which is like, maybe a top 40 player.
Yeah.
And he outperformed that. So they looked very good. Bronny, got some pretty good NBA minutes this year. He kind of jumped back and forth, but he has seemingly kind of found a little bit of a role on this team.
Mhm.
Even if it's just like, like LeBron threw him a lob the other night, and that was like mind blowing.
Yeah, he's been getting like legitimate playoff minutes. Like
Yeah,
I think defensively he's improved a lot. His offense is still kind of raw and leaves a little bit to be desired, but like defensively he's kind of coming into his own, which I think was kind of the thing with him is everyone knew defensively he could be great. He gives the effort and he's a good defender, but the rest of it's kind of got to come around.
agreed.
Um, dominating. I mean, wow. 12 and
Yeah,
8.
I will also give DeAndre Ayton his credit. He was the guy that he was one of the guys that I looked at on that roster. I'm like, man, they just don't really have shit. He's their starting center. And he played really well this year. And there were a couple sound
Yeah,
bites and like interviews.
he
Dude,
played all right.
compared to what I believed was going to be from DeAndre
Okay,
Ayton,
fair.
like, he's a guy that's put up 16 and 10 before and been worse than this. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
No, that's true.
Like, he embraced his role. He filled spots well. He played decent defense.
He's not no Clint
He
Capella though.
No, he's not Clint Capella. he caught he caught lobs. Like, he boxed out. He rebounded. Like, I don't know. He played to a level where I'm like, they should probably keep him around next year, which is not what I would have thought going into this season.
Yeah.
He made himself an integral part of the Los Angeles Lakers this season, which I really would not have predicted. And I gotta say, don't think a lot of people would have predicted that. I saw a
Yeah.
lot of people clowning that move from LA, and
Myself included.
myself included, dude, and it worked out. They got a good rosterable center.
I think one of my favorite things about this season is learning that DeAndre Ayton has like a labeled bottle of like DeAndre special
Oh,
stuff or whatever it's called
dude,
that like motivates him. That was
I
funny.
laughed so hard the day that report dropped. I thought it
That's
was
awesome.
like AI, like fake, like
Yeah,
news
yeah,
generated.
yeah,
It and it was not. Like, it was, yeah, it was crazy. One of the funniest guys we got in the NBA.
yeah. I agree. All right, coming in at number 3, I had the Houston Rockets.
I had the Denver Nuggets.
The actual 3 seed was the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, dude, but I gotta say, after watching this playoff series, I still think I was wrong about the Denver
Yeah,
Nuggets.
they look rough. I don't like going into this. Like I think we talked about them extensively earlier in the season. With like they just made the right moves in the offseason, bringing in like Tim Hardaway, Bruce Brown, trading for Cam Johnson, getting Jonas Valanciunas. Like, they got some decent minutes out of like Spencer Jones and Peyton Watson and stuff when they needed it. Like with injuries and whatever. But like I don't know. They this team. There's something rotten.
There's something rotten, dude, and I, this was another thing that I on today. I think that the problem with Denver this year is that they don't have a Michael Porter mentality guy. And what I mean by that is Michael Porter Jr., like in the aggregate, I think that Cam Johnson over Michael Porter Jr. was probably an upgrade. Like, I think that Cam played didn't play super well this year, but in terms of what the role of the third player on the Nuggets is supposed to be, or the fourth player on the Nuggets, I guess, if you're a big Aaron Gordon guy, um, is like catch and shoot 3 and D, which Cam Johnson is objectively better at than Michael Porter Jr. That being said, Michael Porter Jr. has a much higher shot creating ceiling and a much lower uh, ability, or not ability. He has a much higher ability to suppress his own failures, I guess. Like, you kind of need a guy like Michael Porter Jr. on a team like the Nuggets when the offense isn't playing super well in structure, that's willing to go out and just chuck some shit up sometimes. Because sometimes he goes 1 of 11, but sometimes he goes like 6 of 8. And there were a lot of Michael Jr. games during that 2023 run that you're just not getting out of Cam Johnson. Maybe in structure, Cam Johnson's the, you know, more acceptable player and what you want Herm, and if you're doing a 2K sim, he's the right guy. But the more I watch this team, the more I'm like, they kind of need a wild card that they do not have. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
my Nuggets.
No, I kind of agree. Like I and you can kind of see that in this playoffs. Like they're getting clamped because they just don't have somebody that's going out there and just getting their own shot. Everyone kind of relies on Jokic to set them up,
Right.
except for Jamal Murray. Like Jamal Murray's been more aggressive this year in getting his own shot, but like he's also like the only player on the Nuggets that showed up. So,
Right.
um, yeah,
And even he is a guy who's better when everybody else is playing in structure.
for sure. But yeah, Cam, I don't know. Like, can't he? Every time I watch the Thunder this season, I've just not been impressed by him. I don't know if it's like something like if it's a coaching thing or he's still like trying to find his place with the team. But like, I haven't watched a Nuggets game this season where I've been like, oh, like Cam Johnson really stood out as being like a valuable piece.
Right.
And I think some of that too, like Michael Malone, I think would have coached this team a little differently. No, I'm not trying
That
to
too,
like shit
dude.
on. I'm not trying to shit on David Adelman, but like he's a first year head coach. Like Michael Malone had the experience. He
I will,
had
dude.
okay, well he's a first year head coach. I guess my point what I was trying to make is that he doesn't have the experience that a Michael Malone has.
Right.
But like the Nuggets firing him just didn't make sense because you get rid of this GM because him and Michael Malone are butting heads, and then you're like, you know what, we're still gonna get rid of the coach too and just reset. Which like why?
Right.
Um, I don't. I at the time it didn't make sense. It doesn't make sense now, and it's kind of biting them in the ass for it because Michael Malone would not have
Yep.
them down 3-1 right now. Michael Malone would not lose a playoff game with no Ant or Dante.
Yeah. No,
So
that is such a good point, dude. They are absolutely losing coaching battles. And,
yeah,
and like, sorry, man, Chris Finch is pretty solid. he is not a guy that I'm like, oh man, you go to war with Chris Finch and sometimes you're gonna lose a leg. Like,
Right.
sorry, like that's reserved for guys like Spolstra and guys like Kerr in his prime or Pop.
Yeah.
Like,
Joe Mazzulla.
yeah, Joe Mazzulla.
You might literally
Um,
lose a leg with Joe Mazzulla, dude. You might just
yeah, you
cut
might.
it off.
Yeah, he's like,
But
would you
yeah, I
cut
think
off a
another
leg to win this fucking basketball game?
he'd cut off his own leg, dude. That's how much he cares. But like I think another thing with the Thunder too is like their effort this series
Yeah,
has just been very lackluster. And like I'm kind of getting into like the playoffs. We'll do a separate video on that, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. But like they just don't look like they care.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I think coming into the season, I was like, oh yeah, this team like they're gonna make it back to the finals. Like this, 'cause they went to 7 with the Thunder last year. It was a very tight 7. And then now
right.
I just kind of don't have that same belief.
Yeah,
Coming in at number 2, I had the Nuggets,
I had the Houston Rockets.
and the actual 2 seed was the San Antonio Spurs at 62-20. Holy shit, this team was awesome.
I wish I had given into my me glazing instincts because I really wanted to put them at the 2 seed, which
Yeah,
I think was kind of a hot take going into the year.
I
And
agree. But like,
I put them at the 4 because I was like, all right, I'll be safe. Put Houston and Denver above them because they're more established, and then San Antonio hit their ceiling.
yeah, and like they're probably my most watched team this season. They're so much fun.
So fun,
Wemby was I mean insane. He had put 25 and 12, 3 blocks, 3 assists. Like
He's my
he
absolute like I'm so glad for his ascension in a year without Tyrese.
yeah, for sure. Um Steph Castle played amazing. Dylan Harper is a rookie, man. Like what a season for him.
Dude.
You got really good minutes out of like Devin Vassell and De'Aaron Fox, Keldon Johnson. We'll talk awards in another video, but Keldon Johnson, even like Carter Bryant had like a very solid season for them, playing like minutes when he needed to. Luke Cornett was a very good backup.
Yeah.
Harrison Barnes was a good veteran for them. Julian Champagnie was a decent shooter for them. Like this team caught they did some. They caught their stride. Like they're incredible. And Mitch
Yeah,
Johnson
that
is a
yeah.
look smaxer.
Dude, it was so funny when you said that yesterday cuz DT was in town yesterday and we watched the Spurs Blazers game 3 together. And he mentioned or wait, was that game 4?
Yeah, it was game 4.
Yes, that's right. And you mentioned that, and then it cut to him, and he was just like straight
Yeah.
up,
Every time
like
the camera cuts to
eyes
Mitch Johnson, he's look
squinted,
smashing, dude. He's mogging somebody.
eyes. Yeah, he was, dude. Eyes squinted, lips pursed, like hands on
Yeah.
his hips. I was like, damn. All right, Mitch.
Yeah, dude, he's awesome.
He is.
But yeah, Spurs hell of a season. And finally, at the number 1 seed, I had the Thunder.
I also had the Thunder.
And it was the Thunder.
It was the Thunder. Not as much of a gap as I thought it would.
Yeah, which is crazy because they were still 64 and 18.
I
The
know. I
Spurs
thought
were
we were
just that
looking at
damn
maybe
good.
like a, 10, 12 game gap, and then
Yeah,
yeah, here's San Antonio winning 62 or whatever.
yeah. But the Thunder, I mean, I think like what they were like 24 and 1 or something at the beginning of the season. Like there was legitimate discussions of them breaking the wins record. Like
Yeah,
they,
yeah. Through 25 games, I think they had the same record the 2016 Warriors
yeah,
through 25 games.
and all their guys. I mean, it was much of the same team as last year, but they played well. They did their thing. They got Jared McCain at the trade deadline for like nothing for some reason. Nikola Topic returned from cancer, so congratulations to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
they were here, dude. They're just
yeah,
they're so awesome. Like I can't even hate. Like
I
they're
can. They
just
beat the
so
Pacers.
awesome.
They fraudulently beat the Pacers. We
They
would have
beat the
won that
Pacers and
game.
Tyrese tore
God
his
damn it.
Achilles. I'm fine with giving them that one because it's like, oh,
Because we'll
what
be
if
back next
Tyrese?
year and they'll be the next dynasty.
Because we'll be back next year, and then I can always have towards. That's
Yeah, right.
you know.
Yeah.
If you have to
Mickey
lose a
Mouse ring.
playoffs, if you have to lose the finals, having your star player get very hurt is
The worst way for it to happen.
the worst way for it to happen, but also kind of like you have people don't shit on you forever.
Yeah.
Like the narrative for that finals will always be that instead of the Pacers.
Yeah.
Which if the Pacers lost and Tyrese hadn't gotten hurt, we would be.
Yeah, we'd be in the finals in
But
like a
people
month.
would also be like, the Pacers fucking choked. Like,
Yeah. Scott Foster, I hope he gets in a car crash and survives and lives with no major injuries, but I just hope he has the inconvenience of a
but
car
also
crash.
is inconvenienced.
Yeah.
And his premium, I hope his premium goes way
Oh,
up, dude.
so it's totally his fault. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um anyway, those are our standings predictions from the beginning of the season. We're gonna do awards and playoffs in other videos, and we are. I now that you brought it up, I want to do that Kevin Durant video too at some point. That'd be funny.
Yeah. The roast of
But
Kevin Durant.
yeah, by two chuds.
Yeah, two chud non NBA players.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, though, I bet Kevin Durant doesn't even know the laws of thermodynamics, dude. I got him.
He might, dude. The drones.
Oh, yeah, the Israeli drone technology.
Yeah, dude. You can't forget about that.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's all we got. Stay tuned for more uploads. This one will probably be out this soon after recording. It's April 28th or 7th, so maybe 28th.
Yeah,
I would
next couple
think
days.
is a safe bet. Yeah, I'm working night shifts, so I gotta kind of work around that to get this put together and chopped up and edited and whatever. But we'll make it happen. And that's all we got. Thanks for watching.
Bye.